master will rock your party wherever you be. Calling Dr. Dre to surgery.
Hello, how you doing today, y'all? We are live right here in Morris Media Studios live. You're live with your boy Alonzo, the world-class grandmaster, the OG of the West Coast, folks. We do it like this every Wednesday from 3 to 4. The show is called Not Without Alonzo. To my left, I have the hip-hop attorney, my man. We call him Dakar. What's up, baby?
How you doing, Alonzo?
Oh, man, we flowing like a river right about now. How you feeling today?
I feel great, man. You know how I am. I'm happy to be here.
That's good, man. I'm happy to be here too, Doc. You know, I look forward to this show. You know, I've had shows before. I've had your computer's feedback. I've had shows before, but I got to say, Felicia makes this show so much easier to do because she handles everything. Everything is plugged up. I ain't got to run the wires. I ain't got to plug. I ain't got to worry if I pay my cable bill or not. You know, it's all taken care of, and I ain't mad at it at all. Hey, Doc, we got a subject today that it's kind of near and dear to my heart because when you live in the hood and do business in the hood like I have for the past 40 years, you experience various things, and then you wonder what people are thinking when certain things come about. You know, as most people know, living in the hood can be kind of rough, no matter where you live. I live in a good neighborhood, but even my neighborhood can have its incidents. Let's put it that way. Perfect example. Saturday night, Halloween. I had a rough day. I'm resting up. I have an event at the club. I'm in my house, minding my own business. Mm-hmm. I hear this window break, clang! So I run to the back window. What the hell is that? Mm-hmm. Some assholes decide to throw a brick through my window.
Wow.
A rock through my window, I should say. Mm-hmm. Okay?
That was just, what, 3 days ago?
Saturday night.
Okay.
Now, what he don't know is, in my neighborhood, we have a small community, and neighbors be watching. Okay? Mm-hmm. My neighbors are ex-LAPD. He saw the whole thing. He chased this fool around the corner. Okay, now my boy got away from me. The guy got away from my boy, but as he was chasing the guy, the whole time the guy is running from my neighbor, he's hollering about, "I don't want to go back to jail. I don't want to go back to jail." Well, fool, why'd you throw a rock through somebody's window? Okay, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Oh,
I got cameras on my house. Okay, now he had on a Halloween mask, so I couldn't really see who he was. But it ain't funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Yeah, that's just kind of like random vandalism. Like,
exactly.
What does he get out of that?
Okay, it's not funny. It ain't trick or treat. It ain't nothing but pissing me off because tomorrow I got to go into Bob the Builder mode and snatch out a window and take it to get it replaced and then pay to get it fixed and put it back in. So my day tomorrow is done because of some jackass decides he wants to play some kind of practical joke. A rock through the window is not a practical joke. That's vandalism, fool. Okay, if I had caught you, woo, y'all be doing a fundraiser. Y'all right now be on what's that crowdfunding sources? Go fund Lonzo, because Lonzo done jumped off of somebody's ass. You wouldn't be here. You be trying to get me out of jail for attempting something. It damn sure be a serious ass whooping passed out. Okay, attempted handicap making on a fool. But anyway, folks, I just had to express that. Now, if my neighbor was the kind of guy that stood by and watched somebody commit a crime and didn't do anything about it, okay, I ain't getting involved. I ain't snitching. That ain't my problem. Okay, that guy who threw that window through my rock will feel will feel he can do that to anybody. Okay, because although he didn't get caught, he got chased with a 9mm in his hand. Because my neighbor, he's authorized to carry a gun. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got a guy chasing you with a gun in his hand after you threw a rock. Okay,
I'm sure he'll think twice before
he and anybody else will think twice. Okay, so I'm saying all that to say this: when you don't tolerate certain situations, and I think we as black folks, I'm finna stand on the soapbox for a minute. We as black folks have become so tolerant to so much ill thinking and illogical situations, it becomes acceptable. And what I mean by that is, and I'm gonna segue right into our subject today, which is the no snitching situation. Okay, this no snitching thing. People don't understand. Youngsters don't understand where that came from. Okay, it did not come to protect the criminals. He went to homeboy house. He didn't go to my house. That ain't my problem. Yes, it is your problem. Because if he feel comfortable going to homeboy's house, who say you won't win the lottery next time? Okay, all right. So somebody come crawling to your stuff. Okay, you want to have you want somebody, you want to get with him. Okay, so I know how it feels. Okay, I had somebody break into my car just about 3 weeks ago. Okay, not breaking. I left my door unlocked, and homeboy went shopping inside of my car. Okay, stole all my little knickknacks and goodies and stuff. You know, just messed up my day. Okay, it was my fault. Okay, it's happened before. I've had a window broken out. Most people have had something stolen out of their car. But if your neighborhood tolerates that type of activity, it will happen on a more frequent basis, and people will get bolder and bolder.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the best community you could possibly live in is a community where you know your neighbors to some extent, and y'all look out for each other, so that when I'm away,
right,
if something happens to my house or my car, you know, you're over there taking notes and looking out your window or calling the police. See, and I do the same for you. And I'm excited about the topic because in our Black American culture, right. I think American culture in general, but especially blacks, we got it really bad where, you know, we don't want to cooperate with authority. Not all of us, but many of us. That's a common theme and a common mindset when it comes to, you know, potentially some other black person getting in trouble. Right. But we got to rethink this whole thing, and and that's the topic we're doing.
I'm glad you put it in such a mild way. Rethink it.
We got to rethink it. So today's Connecting the Dots legal analysis segment is rethinking no snitching. And there are some laws that we're going to discuss related to this topic. But
cool. I mean, I think that's something, man, that we really have to rethink on various levels. You know, even when it comes to doing jury duty. Okay, you know, I had a case one time. It wasn't a criminal case. It was a civil case, and it went before a jury. And only black people in the courtroom was me and my attorney. Everybody else was white and Latino. And the boy that I was dealing with, the family I was dealing with, was Latino. Guess what? My ass got found culpable. It wasn't guilty. It was culpable, okay? I had nothing to do with nothing, but because, you know, situations didn't present itself to my advantage, I was caught out there, okay? And a lot of what I tell people and a lot of what I talk about is because I've experienced so much doing business in the community, and I have had experiences that a lot of people would not want to deal with. And I share my experiences because if I don't, that's like a responsibility I have. I feel like maybe it's not my responsibility to look out for other people, but damn it, I just do. I can't help myself.
No. I agree with you 100%.
I'm just stupid like that.
If you are a man, a real man, you have to, nobody has to tell you. Your dad probably did tell you, or at least teach you in a variety of ways. You absolutely have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, and to your community to lead by example, to stand up against bullshit, to lay down the law when necessary, and to do whatever you got to do to protect that community and family. If you're not doing that as a man, then who are you and what are you and why are you even there?
You know, it was a saying. I don't even quote presidents like this, but I think it was Thomas Jefferson said that evil will prevail when good men don't speak up. Okay, so if you don't speak up, you automatically give them permission for the bullshit to exist. Okay, Same thing happened. Same thing in my neighborhood. Now, I live in a decent neighborhood. At least you know where I live at, huh, baby? I miss. Yeah, same house, same bedroom.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to interject here. Really, Lonzo?
You know, I gotta keep my Playboy image up. You know how I was Lonzo, baby. I had the Jerry curl. You know how I was. No, we good. Anyway, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that. I just had to. But anyway, she a cutie pie. I had to do it. So what the hell? You know, it's my Morris Day persona. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, my neighbor says he was in his house painting, and he heard two. Everybody has. Our house is sit on like hills, so you have like little bricks retaining walls. Mm-hmm. Two youngsters are sitting on his retaining wall, and they trying to figure out if the neighbor next to him was even home, so they could break into his house.
When did this happen?
This happened about a month ago.
Okay.
And he came outside and ran them off. So.
Oh, he heard their conversation.
He has a big tree in front of his window.
Right.
So he's in there painting. They got the window open so he can get some air.
Okay.
And these two fools are sitting on his brick. They think nobody can hear him. Yeah, I wonder if he's home or not. We could go through the window, go through the backyard. Fool. So he came out and he ran them off. Now on my block, most of my neighbors are retired. I think my next door neighbor is the youngest cat on my street. But again, about 4 or 5 of our neighbors, you know, cats is relatively in good shape, okay? And we made a little pact. Hey, we're going to start taking pictures of strange cars. If you see somebody at my house, knock on the door, call me, because used to be a time my house had the most activity. At least you know about that for sure, okay? You know about the activity part, right? Okay. I had the most activity, okay? Mm-hmm. And after a couple of small incidents, I cut that out. Okay, so I'm like a recluse now. If I don't know you, I ain't don't knock on my door if you ain't invited. Right. So because I live in a little cul-de-sac, you know, we decided, hey, we're gonna start keeping a tighter eye around here because one day I'm in my kitchen washing dishes. I look at in my backyard. Some fool walked down my backyard. I said, hey man, what you doing in my backyard? Motherfucker tell me, oh man, just be cool. Police looking for me. Man, get your ass out of my yard. You gonna bring the police to my house.
So in other words, he asked you to don't snitch.
Don't snitch. Okay.
Felicia, you mind showing that image of the no snitching stop sign? This image is actually very popular. And I think it's probably more popular 10 years ago when no snitching became a slogan, and you saw it on T-shirts and you saw it, you know, in public in a lot of different places. But before we end the first segment, okay. Felicia brought it up when we first came in, the poetess. What do you think of? Have you heard about the Jerry Heller lawsuit suing Dr. Dre and Ice Cube over the way he was portrayed in the movie Straight Outta Compton? He's suing for $110 million. What do you think of that?
Oh, man.
And you know Jerry Heller personally.
I know him very well. I know him very well. I know all the players in the lawsuits except for Universal. And I don't know, Matt. I think he, once again, is taking things a little bit too serious. Okay? It's a movie, first and foremost. Okay? Ice Cube.
Not a documentary.
Not a documentary. Right. Ice Cube has hated him for years. Okay, I have other. I'm keeping it real. Ice Cube has hated Jerry Heller for years. Okay,
in your opinion?
I don't know. Oh, in my opinion. Okay, I was watching some YouTube videos last night, and I was telling him I was watching Ice Cube say how he and Easy had thought about getting back together, but Jerry Heller could not be involved. Okay, I mean I saw this. He was on a radio show.
They portrayed that in the movie too. Yeah. Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, and when you have had your own, it's like you see if you have tasted freedom, okay, and being in charge of your own company and ran your own stuff, and then somebody else comes in and tries to act like they're going to run it for you, but you don't like the way they run things, that can be a problem, okay? So if I'm not saying he has, if Jerry doesn't respect Ice Cube's way of doing business and Dre's way of doing business, but Easy did, okay, and Easy felt comfortable with him being in charge of the operation, but the other two guys didn't, that could be a problem. Okay, and it's not a matter of personal like. It's just I don't too much care for the way he handle his business, because in some ways his business is going to be all about him, and all about Ruthless, and that is the way. That is how business goes to a certain degree. Okay, I mean not to a certain degree. All business, the phone company, your cell phone. Your car contracts, credit cards, anything that you get involved in, it's probably going to be in favor of the issuer as opposed to the issuee. Okay, so if Jerry Heller is involved involved in the business practices, it may be to the advantage of Ruthless. I don't know. Okay, and Ice Cube may feel he's past that at this point. Okay, so for the most part. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. Yeah. Because if he gonna sue, I'm gonna have to sue too. I didn't get the best flight.
Jokes. Huh? Hey, listen.
You're my lawyer.
Well, it sounds like he's, this claim is essentially a defamation claim. I don't think he's gonna win. Jerry Heller, that is, hardly anything. Maybe a settlement for a small amount just to get rid of it. But $110 million, I think that's. He'd win that in the lottery before he would get that out of his lawsuit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. But again, he'd always taught us all to think big. So if you're going to go for something, and plus all the profits, I mean, come on, man, he wasn't the only person in the movie. Right. So the whole story don't mean nothing because you felt like you were not portrayed properly. I wasn't portrayed properly, but my legacy is a little bit different from his, okay? My legacy, for those who know me, I've always been a visionary, okay? So you can say in the movie I wasn't a visionary, but if people that know me, which is quite a few people, they know me totally different, okay? But I'm not under the control of, a second party, you should say, okay? So I have my own vision. I have my own way of doing things, and it works for me. And I still, more so than anything, I still have my soul. It ain't been paid for yet. It's still mine.
I like that. Should we go to a commercial break at this time?
Yeah, if I get sued. Damn, come on, hurry up. Cut us off.
We'll come back.
Be right back, y'all. Yeah. You're live with Alonzo and Dakar, the hip hop attorney, folks.
Yes,
Be right back on Not What All right, y'all. You're live with Lonzo, the world-class grandmaster, and Dakar, the hip-hop attorney, and the show is Not Without Alonzo. We do this every Wednesday from 3 to 4 on Morris Media Group, Morris Media Live. I don't know why I want to call you a group. Morris Media Live, right here, y'all. Hey, folks, today's topic is snitching. Now, my understanding from the old school, snitching was something that you didn't do on your partner in crime. What I mean by that is, if me and Dakar decide to make a move that we both know is totally illegal, and it's a possibility that one of us, we both can go to jail, and he gets caught and I don't, or if I get caught and he doesn't, my job is not to tell on him. Okay? That's where the no snitching rule came from. Okay? You don't do the cop's job in telling your partner. They want everybody involved know I'll ride this beef. But the car has an obligation to me as well. If the car gets away, especially if he gets away with the goods, is to have my share waiting on me when I get out, whenever I get out. Okay? Now, as we know today, that shit don't happen like that. Okay? As soon as you go to jail, you being booked and homeboy at your house screwing your woman. Let's keep it real, folks. He raising your kids, and you can't tell because you down with the hood. And come on, man. Me and Dakar, one of the reasons why we hit it off is because he told me a couple of his situations that he's dealing with from a legal standpoint. That I'm like, you got to be kidding. Now I've heard of guys going to jail because somebody had a gun and he already had 2 strikes, and he didn't have any strikes, and he went and did 3 or 4 years, or he got 5 years because he knew the cops knew whose gun it was, but because the other buddy took the rap, homeboy didn't get struck out, and I'm sitting there going, wow, I understand you don't see your homie go to jail, but what's in it for me? Okay, besides fighting for my freedom and my manhood for the next 5 years. Okay, and well, I did it for the hood. Okay. Well, is there a pension plan to come along with this? Is there hospitalization? Is there, any type of care for your family while you locked up? And in most cases, of course, it's not. So, when I hear these kind of stories, it makes me wonder, how do you know you wasn't set up? Okay? That's the first thing comes to my mind. If two bald-head guy with a goatee, go out and commit a crime, and I find out who it is, is it my obligation to take his time and not snitch? I don't think so. Okay?
Right.
If I know who did it, okay, how do I know I wasn't being set up for this?
Yeah.
Okay?
What you're saying is very important, and I want to reiterate it and emphasize it because it's kind of subtle, even though you're very direct. People really need to get this. No snitching in its origin was a agreement or a policy between the persons that were involved in the crime intentionally. So when you got two or more persons deciding they're going to commit a crime together, the agreement was whoever gets caught, if anyone gets caught, you don't talk to authorities about the rest of us or about the crime.
Right.
That does not apply when there was no agreement to commit a crime. But you have people in the black community and a larger society applying a no snitching policy.
Blanket policy.
Where there was no agreement to commit a crime. So, of course, you should not do time for the other handsome, bald-headed, goatee-wearing guy that happened to commit a crime that you just happened to get arrested for because you look like him.
Right.
You have to snitch on him. What fool was sitting there? Actually, Felicia, the poetess, if you don't mind, will you please play that Bernie Mac Def Comedy Jam clip at this time? Because that Bernie Mac nailed it. Why? And he doesn't even talk about snitching. He doesn't use that word, but...
And over 40% of the brothers in jail for nothing. And they had a little survey, a little panel thing. We got to ask the inmates questions, So I asked the inmate, I said, hey, my brother, what you in for? He said, nothing.
You got to feel that way. Bernie Mac nailed it because, it's just common sense. And I understand you got, when it comes to the gang thing, it might be a little different. But the bottom line is, if you didn't do the crime, you shouldn't do the time. And if you that's my opinion. And that's my advice to anybody seeking legal advice.
Well, see, that right there, I understand what you're saying is totally true. And when you look at it, the reason why white folks and black folks have so much trouble jogging through white communities, because white folks is watching, okay? And they paranoid already. So they tell on you because they don't know you, okay? And in their mind, they're protecting their community, okay? I understand you can't run around profiling people because they're black, white, or brown, but at some point in time, you have to be aware of the common folks in your community. Some people, hey, are you lost? Can I help you? Help you find somebody? Oh, I'm looking for Mr. Jones' house. He lives around the corner. Okay,
right,
cool.
right.
Okay, but when you see certain things happen in the community, you see people pulling stuff out of people's houses. On vacation, and you just going to keep on minding your business. Okay, instead of calling the police or saying, "Hey man, what's your name?" But everybody got a cell phone. Take the man's picture. That's what we do. We take the picture. We see something suspicious.
Oh yeah, document it.
Take a picture, okay? I had to loop the block one day because I saw a guy on a bicycle. The bicycle, he was carrying the front tire. I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't right, okay? Now the bike had it was a chain on the frame, and he was kind of carrying the bicycle like a wheelie almost, with the front tire hanging off. Looked like it was obvious he stole the bike. Okay, so I had to get a picture of this cat to see if anybody's bike come up missing. Okay, this who stole your bike. Okay, and if your bike don't come up missing, ain't no problem. But if you tolerate certain activities in your community, you will always have these kind of activities. White folks don't have these kind of activities. They don't have that problem because they're going to tell. And they go on to court and they're going to press charges. Okay, I don't want to see no... First of all, hold on, let me make a disclaimer. I don't want to send no black man to jail. I don't want to call the police on no black man. Stay out of my shit, though. Okay, just stay out of my shit. Okay, don't put me in the me or you position. And if it comes to me or you, guess what? Guess who's gonna lose? If it comes down to me or you, guess who's gonna lose? Don't do that to me. Okay. Now go ahead, my brother.
All right. Well, there's a lot on this topic. Let me go real quickly. No snitching often leads to that policy, that idea, which is, again, don't cooperate with the police, don't go to court and testify. It often leads to people being charged with a variety of different criminal charges. And the reason why is the person who has this idea, don't snitch, sometimes will approach a witness to a crime and try to either intimidate that person or persuade that person to not cooperate with a police investigation or not to cooperate with a legal proceeding, like don't come to court and testify at the preliminary hearing or don't come to court and testify at trial. There was a case, and actually it is a case pending in Victorville, the juvenile that's currently being charged with involuntary manslaughter from an accidental shooting. You and I talked about it before. Right. And that case is the type of case that is plagued by the no snitching policy. What you had here was a juvenile, a young teenager, 15 years old, hanging out in a house full of teenagers. That morning,
bad combination.
A few of the teenagers went to a local Walmart store and purchased BB guns. They brought them back to the house. The house, I think the oldest adult that lives in the residence is approximately 25 years old. So it's one of those houses in the neighborhood where teenagers congregate because it doesn't have any, older adult supervision. Okay, so they're playing with the BB guns. They're hanging out. And, these are young black teenagers. There's a room, I read it in the police reports, in the house that's a dedicated studio for recording rap songs, hip hop songs. So it's that type of house, They hang out, they kick it, they party. One young man who was not a juvenile, he's either 18 or 19 years old at the time, and this incident occurred about 4 or 5 months ago, but the case is still pending. Okay. He brought a loaded firearm to the house, a real gun, but didn't tell the juveniles that were present in the home that he actually had a real gun. So you got several BB guns being played with, and one guy shows up with a real gun that's loaded. So you could probably see where this is going. Right. We've talked about it before. People out there listening, at some point, my juvenile client picks up the real gun thinking it's a BB gun, and the long story short, the gun accidentally fires. One bullet strikes a teenage 16-year-old, beautiful young woman out there who was there, present in the house. She later died in the hospital. Tragic accident. We could talk about this again when we do the gun topic. But the problem with this case is that when the police were summoned out, they called 911, rushed her to the hospital. The police comes out to investigate. As the police are there interviewing witnesses, people that were present in the house, teenagers, you had several bystanders, including some of the people that were present in the house, watching these people be interviewed by the police officers from a distance and yelling out, Don't talk to the police. Don't talk to them. Don't tell them nothing. So that interfered with the police investigation. The police was not even able to determine at that time who brought the real loaded pistol knowingly and willingly into this house, because you had people yelling at the witnesses from a distance, trying to get them to shut up, to not snitch, to don't snitch. Now, that's a big problem for me and for this case and for my client, obviously. The bottom line is this. Nobody agreed to commit a crime in that scenario. You had a accidental shooting. Everyone at the party, the police, the district attorney, everyone says it was an accident. Why are people being encouraged not to talk to the police? What the police should have done, and they may not have had the resources to do it, but I wish they would have done it, and I hope they can go back and do it. Go back and find each person that was yelling out, don't talk to the police, don't tell them nothing, and arrest that person and charge them with California Penal Code Section 136.1, which is dissuading a witness. That statute, that crime, dissuading a witness, anytime you try to dissuade a witness, prevent somebody from talking to law enforcement or reporting a crime or, testifying at a hearing, that's one of those crimes that can be filed as either a misdemeanor or a felony. We call them wobblers. Okay. I think the level at which they were dissuading the police from investigating, dissuading witnesses from cooperating with the police in a ultimately a homicide investigation. Wow. Everybody that was there trying to dissuade the witnesses should be charged with a felony.
Now they're going to start talking. Somebody going to start talking then.
Yeah, they're going to have to, because it's important to get to the truth. And now you got, in that situation, you got a young man who is being charged in a crime, but he's not the one that has the most responsibility for the accidental shooting that took place.
Well, somebody probably figures because he's a minor, he'll do less time than I will as an adult.
Yeah. And that's not always true, because so long as you're 14 years of age or older, no matter what the crime is, you can be charged as an adult here in the state of California. So just because you're a juvenile, and I really hope any juveniles that get to see this program or any of our programs understand this. You're right. A lot of people say, a lot of kids will say, and they understand it because they've seen other people go through it, I could go out and commit a crime. It's going to be on my juvenile record. My juvenile record will get sealed. Right. It won't hurt me, when I become an adult. Any crime that you commit as a juvenile, if you're 14 years or older, you can be charged as an adult. In the Victorville case with this accidental shooting and my client being charged with involuntary manslaughter and some other felony charges, he's actually being tried as an adult. Wow. And that determination was made before I came on the case to represent him. Wow. So we got to deal with that. Let me mention a couple other penal codes. You also have California Penal Code Section 140, which is threatening a victim, witness, or informant. That crime is also a wobbler. It can be filed as a misdemeanor or felony. That crime and also the previous statute I cited, dissuading a witness, they both carry a maximum punishment of 4-year state prison here in California. Just that crime by itself. Wow. So you could be, if you get convicted of that, trying to encourage somebody to not snitch, you could potentially end up being sentenced to 4-year state prison. You also hear the same type of crime sometimes, especially on television and in the media outside of California. You'll hear the legal term of art or the description, witness tampering. Right. It's really the same crime. Okay. In California, we call it dissuading a witness. In some other jurisdictions, other states, and also at the federal level, they call it witness tampering. Federal level witness tampering, the feds go hard. You can get up to 20 years on a witness tampering charge, depending on the circumstances. Just from trying to threaten somebody or intimidate somebody into not cooperating. You get charged federally, you can get sentenced to up to 20 years in federal prison.
Well, you know what? That's crazy, man, because so many cats, figure it's some kind of bold move to do things like New Jack City, okay? Broad daylight, walk up and shoot somebody or do something to somebody and dare somebody to tell on them. That's not real. That's New Jack City, a movie, okay? And I tell people all the time, when you see images like that, people get those type of they get desensitized to the actual crime and think, oh, that was some cold shit to do. When I do my thing, I'm gonna do it because I know for a fact. I had to say this. I didn't cut myself off. I know for a fact when people do certain things. I remember at the club, I had to eat after dark. People would come to me, Lonzo, it might be a problem at the club tonight. Why? We ain't open yet. Well, man, there was a problem at Centennial in the lunchroom, and they said they're gonna bring it up to the club. Fool! Why would you bring a private problem to a public place? Okay, and
that's hilarious,
dude. I'm telling you, I've had extra security guards.
Hilarious that people would be dumb enough to actually do that.
But understand this.
It happens all the time.
But understand this. This is why these are the type of actions are why we don't have any venues in the hood right now. Skating rings are gone. Clubs are closing down left and right because we make our private problems a public issue. And some people feel it's part of my reputation. Let people see me do so and so and so. Well, guess what? When you could, just like when that boy was killed on my property. Okay, although I had nothing to do with it, I still had a lawsuit to defend. Okay, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't see anything. Okay, but I'm the only one that had to file bankruptcy, had to go through all type of legal changes, hire lawyers, the whole 9 yards, and almost lost everything I had because somebody else did some dumb stuff on my property. Okay, so when you are most people don't realize this. Most of your skating rings are not owned by black people. They're owned by people of non-color. Okay, so why should I take a chance on getting a lawsuit or ruining my family's legacy or inheritance or whatever the case may be, dealing with a bunch of knuckleheads who don't appreciate it? Obviously, you don't appreciate it because you're bringing your personal problems to my private property, which makes me a part of whatever you're dealing with. But 9 times out of 10, y'all are scattered, and nobody tells on the person who did the actual crime. Okay, I'm dealing with a issue here that's costing me a whole bunch of money. While 9 times out of 10, even if you get caught, the financial ramifications for me as a business owner is much more traumatic than it is for you as the criminal. Yeah, you go to jail, but now there's no no World on Wheels. There's no skate depot. And you have to drive to the valley or out to the IE to go skating. Okay? Same thing happened with clubs. Nobody wants to be bothered with that because so much gang activity happens in the parking lot. People drive by and shoot people. When you fall on that man's property, that's his problem. So these are the kind of things that, as a businessman, I've experienced, and I understand why. Because people ask me, when you're open the skating ring, I'm not opening them nothing. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been bit too many times, and it's difficult to keep on sticking your hand in the lion's mouth when you see the Sun Guns, a man eater. Anyway, that's just my personal soapbox for this break. We're gonna take a quick break. Be right back. You're live with Lonzo, the world-class grandmaster, and Dakar, the hip-hop attorney, and this is Not Without Alonzo, brought to you by the book. Buy this book, and you may find out some of the secrets to the lawsuits, some of the answers. If you think Jerry Hiller's gonna win, you might find out why he will or why he won't. Secrets could be in this book. Be right back, y'all.
Telling the world it ain't no secret I'm hotter than ether, but I don't need the.
All right, y'all, you're back. We are back. I'm sorry. You're live with Lonzo, the world-class grandmaster, the godfather of West Coast hip-hop. We are live at Morris Media Studios live with my man, my consigliere, to my left. Dakar, we call him the hip-hop attorney, y'all. The only attorney can go in the court, quote Tupac and breakdance, all while giving his pleading your case, y'all. We're talking about snitching, but he also has some other questions we talked about during the break. Where were we at?
Well, at some point we might want to give out the phone number. If anybody
Oh
wants to
yeah,
call
you can
and
call
talk.
us.
But before we do that, want to, this is our fourth show.
Yeah.
The first show was, pretty much a, excuse me, an introductory show, and where we kind of, laid the foundation for what we were going to do. And then we came up with this connecting the dots legal analysis section where we do a different topic every week.
Right.
So when we did episode 2, our topic was domestic violence. Last week was episode 3. Our topic was
Pimping.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a great topic. This week we're doing rethinking, no snitching. And we haven't decided what we're going to do next week yet. But it's going to be another fun topic.
Yeah.
But before we get back into that, Alonzo, just so people know who you are, most people know who you are locally. But people who are watching the show, did I tell you I got a call from a woman in Atlanta, Georgia last week who said she watched the show live? So now I've gotten a call from a woman in South Carolina and a call from a woman in Georgia who said, I love the show. I just watched it. You guys are doing a great job, blah, blah, blah. So people are watching this outside of California, outside of the United States. They don't know your story. They may not have picked up the book yet.
They haven't picked up the book yet? How are you not going to have the book yet? But you know what? I think what you said, basically what you're saying, I need to introduce myself a little bit more.
And what it is, I think the easiest way for people to know who you are or to get a little introduction is there was a very popular movie that was released this summer. It's probably the number one movie released in the world this year so far, called Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton.
And it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. You need to see it. Alonzo, you were portrayed in that movie in several scenes.
Yeah, there's a character, guy played me, Alonzo. He's the club owner, the crazy club owner with the Jerry curl and was talking all the shit. Now, those who don't know me, I talk a lot of shit. That's why I got a radio show. But I'm also, along with being that character in that movie, if it was true to form, probably would have been 2 hours just about me because I am the one who put all that together. I'm the man that actually introduced Eazy-E to Jerry Heller. Dre and Yella were in my group, World Class Wrecking Crew. I owned the Eve After Dark and later was chased into doodles by the L.A. Sheriff Department. I did cuss Dre out for having for a performance at Doodles, but it was not the Ice Cube performance. It was another performance. So yes, I did go off on Dre about doing some things. And if you did watch the movie, the last thing my character says in the movie is, you need to work on that slow jam. Well, the last slow jam we worked on collectively as World Class Wrecking Crew was Turn Off the Lights by World Class Wrecking Crew, which featured Miss Chalet. Okay? So all these are true facts, and I started writing this book last year, not just because the movie was coming out. I didn't hear about the movie until August. I'd been working on the book about 5 months before I heard about the movie, and I was kind of curious to see what was going to happen and just to find out they had somebody portraying me while the movie was being shot. I didn't find out anything prior to the movie being shot. I found out on the day of the shooting that there was a gentleman actually playing me in the movie. And I did a lot of research, and my life is the research. So I wrote this book called Not Without Alonzo, NWA. And if you read the book and you understand the story, you'll realize that it would not have happened without me. I'm probably one of the most significant players on the West Coast. That's probably Jerry Heller said it. He's the most underrated player on the West Coast. Okay.
He said that about you.
He said that I'm the most, I guess one reason why is because I didn't buy into the gangster lifestyle, the gangster rap thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've always been somewhat of a rebel. Not somewhat, I've been a rebel. And I kind of do what I feel good about. Okay. and I didn't feel good about that. I made a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It made a shitload of money. But
and has been very influential in rap music,
and sending folks
hip-hop,
to jail.
and throughout the world.
And very, very influential to sending folks to jail.
Can I ask you a question about the book?
Go ahead.
Okay, because I'm your co-host here.
And the
I just started reading your book last week.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm actually a practicing criminal defense attorney, and I got to handle my cases first.
Okay.
So I started reading the book. The book is great.
Thank you.
But I've only made it through the first several chapters.
Okay.
You detail in the book about how you got your start.
Right.
And your whole background, and you tell that story, and it's very fascinating. You talked about by the time you hit 19 years old, and this was before you became a club owner.
Right.
You were DJing actively
Everywhere.
throughout L.A. County.
Yes.
You were in Hollywood, you were in Compton, you were in Inglewood, wherever
Whittier,
the gigs were.
Palos Verdes. I had a ball back then because it was so my clientele was so diverse.
Yeah, and one of the places that you got a regular gig was it was the all girls school.
Regina Chaley.
How do you pronounce it?
Regina Chaley.
Chaley. Yes. I didn't know how to pronounce it. I read it, and they used to do dances. Was it every 2 weeks at the school?
Every 2 weeks, every other.
And this
Saturday.
is a Catholic school.
Catholic school.
Okay, and at Regina Chaley. There were approximately 200 students would attend these events, so they were very popular for the neighborhood. And one thing that really made me laugh when I was reading about this is that you said even though you got 200 teenagers in one location that came out to dance, party, and hang out, you didn't need any security guards or police officers.
Not a one.
And I found that hilarious. The reason why is because the nuns.
the nuns ran the dance.
The nuns were so strict,
man,
and were so feared and so well respected.
Right. It wasn't going
you
down.
didn't need the police.
The police.
They were able to keep 200, and these are predominantly
black, all black, and a couple of Latinos.
Yeah, and in line, and you didn't need any security.
No, man, didn't need security.
Oh my God!
Understand this. I went to St. Albert's, which was directly across the street from Regina Chaley. Okay, I went to school at St. Albert's, a Catholic school. Okay, and
what for junior high? Was it?
Elementary to junior high. Okay, and one of the nuns who was a teacher at St. Albert's was transferred over to Regina Chaley. Okay, now this woman's been teaching me since I was in the third grade. So I'm 19 years old, okay? I'm DJing 19 years old, but she's been knowing me since I was 7 or 8, okay? And they had a no slow dance rule at Regina Chaley, okay? But the girls, the Catholic school girls, they get a little hot, okay? Felicia, did you go to Catholic school? Felicia? Are you a Catholic school? Okay, I just want to make sure. Anyway, the Catholic school girls, they could you play some Isley Brother? Could you play some Rolls Royce? I'm playing these slow records, and every time I play a slow record, man, the nun, it would be like on Wizard of Oz. You hear that music coming, nun make a beeline straight to my face. No more slow records, no more slow. We don't play those in here. So I played the slow record. I got 5 minutes. I got to tell the story real quick. I got so the girls be on me, please. I try to slide another one in. Nun come over there, and she, do it again. Okay, so one nun, I do it again. Nun get pissed off. The last time, the nun walked over to me like Clint Eastwood, took her ruler and knocked the arm of the turntable off the record, walked over to me and grabbed me by the coat and put her ruler to my nose like it was a switchblade. Play another slow record. You'll never play here again. I punked out. Okay, Sister Marcella, no problem. Okay, I went back to the third grade on her ass, okay? And they didn't hear no more slow records the rest of the damn night. And that was how things were in Compton when I was coming up.
Right.
Okay?
This relates to something we talked about briefly last week, which is discipline and authority. And I don't know what Catholic schools are like nowadays, but I really miss that being in the schools, because even in the public schools, teachers could do what that nun did when I was coming up.
Come on.
But they can't do it today. But
now you got cops snatching kids and throwing them around the room like they're rag dolls. Okay? That never would have happened back then.
Yeah, well, it never would have happened if discipline was still a tool to be used by teachers. But when you can't discipline the students, situations like that develop. That's my opinion.
Well, you know,
and I'm not. Yeah,
the whole world is being turned into a big playground. And what I mean by that is, when we were kids, if we had a problem, we had to go turn the person in to the teacher, and the teacher would deal with it. Okay, that's how they wanted us to deal with it. But a lot of times we fought. Okay, if you fought, you had, you just got in trouble. You got a SWAT, whatever the case, no big deal. But it's like nowadays they want you to turn everybody into the police and let the police deal with them. Okay, and I know it's contradictory.
That's what the schools want you to do. Right. So you have students catching criminal cases very minor stuff.
Right.
And it is really sad. You mentioned it on the very first show, I believe.
Right.
How back in the day, it was boys would play with girls as teenagers and pop the bra.
Right,
and now they report you to the police. You get charged with sexual battery.
Yes, you might have to register as a sex offender, man, because you had a little fun. I mean, they've taken the fun out of being a kid, and they replaced it with materialism. So now only toys you really have is these things right here, and everybody's communicating on these things. Everybody's playing on these things, and I do believe in a few years there's going to be some serious neck issues because everybody's doing this right here. Going to be neck and eye issues up the yang. But I hope not. I hope we find a way to overcome some of this stuff, man, because that's why we're here today. Okay, I just see so much stuff on Facebook and Instagram that is like, why are you videotaping your own crime? Why are you creating evidence for your own crime? And then you wonder, they snitched on me. No, fool, you videotaped it and put it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I know people that have actually been prosecuted for intimidating witnesses
on Facebook.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then they on Facebook.
I can believe it. Yeah. Why would you document that and then publish it? I agree 100%.
I had a girl. How much time I got? 1 minute? 2 minutes. I had a girl come to the club. Okay. This is a true story. I look up and the feds is at my door. Okay. The feds come to the club looking for me. They want to see my videotape. Well, these two girls had been committing crimes, real estate crimes, fraud. So one girl got busted because the other girl told on her. Okay, the girl who told on her got out on bail. Okay,
so she violated the no snitching.
She's on Facebook. I'm going. I got out today. I'm going to the boom boom room to have a good time. Well, guess what? The girl and the feds is reading the doggone Facebook post. They come to me looking for the video footage. The girl comes to her, catches her at the club, comes to the parking lot, whoops her ass.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Whoops her ass on video, okay? So now she goes to the feds because now she's turning states against the girl, okay? Now she got a witness tampering case along with the other crimes that the girl's testifying for. And now the feds, I got these two white boys at my house in these jackets. I'm like, I'm at the gate, I'm at the club like, oh my God, what's happening now? I'm like, what would I do if I done something? I'm trying to figure out what I did. And they want to see my videotape of the girl jumping on the girl. Okay, so here's how people get involved. Okay, now I didn't know, I didn't see it happen, but my cameras caught it.
Okay, you're sharing that story because it goes to how people, go on, use social media to document their crimes and they create a problem. It also touches on this no snitching.
Right.
Because that was a real no snitching situation. You had two women that agreed to commit real estate fraud.
Right.
One got caught. That's a no snitching situation. Right. No snitching is not when there's no plan to commit a crime and some innocent person ends up going down and people are yelling, don't talk to the police. Black people, stop that.
All right, folks. We got about a minute left, y'all. I'm going to let the car kick it off right quick. Say your goodbyes and your hellos and all that good stuff.
I am a practicing criminal defense attorney here based in Los Angeles County, but I handle cases throughout the state of California, mostly in Southern California. But if you need any legal advice, particularly on a criminal matter, feel free to call me or text message me. My number is 213-858-2698.
Now, we had so much fun today, we forgot to give out the phone number, man. We didn't invite nobody to call in and ask us no questions to share no story. We have to give us some more time with Felicia. We might have to go an hour and a half or something. We're going to see We can work something out. In the meantime, folks, my name is Alonzo, the world-class Grandmaster. Yes, you saw me in Straight Outta Compton. Back then, I was about 40 pounds lighter, a Jerry curl, but I still was Lonzo, okay? And I'm the world-class Grandmaster, the godfather of West Coast hip-hop. Check out my book with all the details of what happened in Straight Outta Compton, the details that Straight Outta Compton couldn't give you. It's available on my website, LonzoWilliams.com, or on CreateSpace, or check out it on Amazon, folks. In the meantime, I'll be back here next week, next Wednesday at 3 o'clock, Morris Media Studios Live. Much love, y'all. Peace.
Riding in my car alone.